Hey Capricorn, welcome to your November reading. This is my take two because I just recorded Virgo and Capricorn with no sounds, so I'm redoing your reading. So it may be a little bit different to what I originally recorded, but maybe you just weren't meant to hear it that way. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that one definitely came up for you last time. So I'm using the goddess and the gods and guardians oracle for the keywords and Archangel Michael for the main deck. So I felt like I was drawn to Archangel Michael for the main deck because I feel like right now it's a time where we are kind of protected through all of our endeavors and what we're going through. And I also feel that we're all going through what we're going through for a reason. It's kind of like there's something we need to learn from and grow here. Now we're in Scorpio season. So Scorpio season is a really great time for shadow work. So I do feel like it does bring up a lot of things in us that needs to be seen, that needs to be worked upon, those kind of things. Oh, pardon me. Burping at you. Alright, Capricorn, I am going to hold my mic closer to my mouth, so as you may have heard, the sound gets more clearer. So I realized my setup, like I've been thinking for a while, like my mic just does not sound like I have a mic here. It sounds the same as like my laptop, which I wasn't happy with, which is why I got the mic. I realized it's my setup is just not set up closer to my mouth and I don't have the height. So we're doing this. Your first card is Hell, End of a Cycle. So I feel like things are coming to an end and a completion here, and it really does feel as though you are ready for this closing of the door and to begin like what's next in your next chapter. So I'm kind of loving this vibe for you, Capricorn. It does kind of give me ancestral vibes here. I do feel as though you have ancestors with you during this time. Now the veil is thin at this time of year. It's literally Halloween today. And this is a time of year where worldwide, different cultures, different religions, we all honor the dead and our ancestors. And I feel like this, for you Capricorn, is coming through quite strong, that you have this feminine energy with you during what you're going through. I really am getting this maternal, feminine, kind of a mother energy with you. Woo! Upsy daisy! You're okay. Up you get. So I've got my son in here too. It just fell off a little box, but it's all, this is my storage room and my office, so things everywhere. Anyway, I feel like connecting with your root. I'm definitely getting ancestral energy. I feel like connecting with something. I feel like maybe look at the perspective. I feel like you have a guide with you right now that's trying to guide you through this and give you insights. And I feel like they're trying to communicate something with you. I feel like connecting, maybe even if if you're not quite there where you feel you can connect to that, it's kind of, embody that person. Like, okay, what advice would they give me if they were here with me? Because I feel as though it's kind of a passed on loved one, that they have guidance for you. And what would they say? And I feel like that will help you in some way, shape or form. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, end of a cycle generally means that things are coming to a change now. Things are changing. And that's the universal energy this year. Big changes, big transformations. And that's awesome. Things are changing, switching, kind of turning a page is what I kind of feel like for you. So your first card is Sense of Humor. It's in reverse. It wants you to pay attention to this. So the Sense of Humor card generally means like stop stressing and it's like being so serious, I guess. It's about stepping away from a situation and realizing that everybody involved is coming from a place of love. So even if somebody within your situation doesn't have the same views as you, or maybe you feel kind of negative towards this situation, because I feel as though this is saying, hey, you need to stop being so negative and so serious about this. You need to step back and realize the important things. That's what I kind of get with this. The Sense of Humor card can come up when we are being too serious in life, and it needs you to kind of have fun, enjoy, and see where you are. I feel like that's actually, Capricorn, quite important to for you to realize like how far you have come at this point of this to this end of the cycle. I feel like it's taking inventory and see, where am I now? How far have I come? And realizing the good stuff. Your next card again is reverse as well, so pay attention to this one. The person you're asking about is real and trustworthy. So both of those cards, like, even because I've been reading these cards for at least the last 5 years, so I'm very in tune with them. And both of these cards in the book, I remember, it signified that the person you're asking for you're within this situation is coming from a place of love. So sometimes when there's a dynamic where there's conflict, we only see our perspective, and it might seem that the other person is coming from from like a place that's, you know, hate or resentment or aggression, but they're just living their truth and their life, and they're doing what's best for them, just as you are as well. And I feel like this is really important for you just during this time to actually see people within your situations as people rather than an object that's in your way kind of thing. It does feel, again, with this being in the end of a cycle, it's kind of like a completion thing. So I do feel like this is, and I'm actually recalling what I read for you in this first column the first time, and it was about forgiveness. So I'm going to just touch on that now because that's what's flowing through with that. So I just want to touch on what forgiveness means. So forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. So when you forgive somebody, you're not just accepting what they've done and saying, you're right, I forgive you. You're forgiving them for yourself. You're letting go of the stress, the resentment, the hate that builds in you when you hold on to things. It's about releasing that and saying, I no longer want this burden of this anymore. I forgive you of that. I forgive you for myself. It's a bit more than that, but just lightly touching on that for you. I feel like that's really beneficial for you during this time. Because you are coming to an end of a cycle. So it's about releasing, letting go of what no longer serves so that you can move forward towards your abundance, your happiness. Okay, so then you have Athena, wise decision. I feel like there is something here that, again, there's this definite feel of letting go. I feel like you need to come to a decision with something, and it comes with letting go. It's kind of coming with me. The letting go of something is a wise decision. So apply that to your situation, how that is. I do feel like there's a person within this, like it's about letting go of that, of kind of the hold it has on you as well. There is an owl on here, and again, there's that same, and again, it's the same as here. All four of these cards basically tell me, your keywords are telling me that you have guidance with you. I feel like you have a loved one with you, basically offering you wisdom during this time. So I think it will do you good to clock into that kind of, if you do meditate, to meditate on it, or any divination, to communicate with your guides to see what's there for you, that wisdom. I feel like by the decision that you make enables you to be free to create the life that you wish, like move towards something. I feel like at the moment you are caged off. Now I feel like your heart is protected in this, but I feel like that's your drive and your goal is towards your heart. You're trying to create something for yourself that is in regards to love. I feel like that's your aspiration, your life path that you're heading towards at the moment, like a focus. But at the moment that's protected, and that's because you're holding on to something that's preventing you from truly being able to be attract that. So I'm just going to touch on manifesting. So I want you to realize like what you manifest is what you keep inside. So if you are all about protecting your heart and not sharing yourself and being open with somebody, then you will not actually attract somebody who can be just as open and like that with you. And I feel like that's a connection that you're striving for here, because the heart center, if you look at her armor, her heart is kind of beneath this cage. I mean, technically it's probably here, but that's how I envision it. It's like the upper part of her body is protected. It's being caged beneath this armor kind of thing. And touching on that, like it's caged within it, and it's kind of made of a material. It looks like it's made of gold. But how I feel, it's made of something very precious. So you are protecting it preciously, but there are holes in it, which means you want to release that. You want to put it out there. But I feel like there's fear with that. We have the lean on God and the angels for support, and that indicates exactly what I've just been saying. It's as though, I feel as though I want to say I feel like you don't have faith, and there's some kind of resistance to that. But it's saying open up to our support. You're on the right path, and we're here to help you. We're here to guide you. So trust in your inner guidance. Your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. So trust what you feel is what I want to say. I do get this sense of you protecting what you feel and not really, in a way, not even facing it and acknowledging it. And you should. That's what you should be relying on, is that. Interesting. Okay, so the next keyword is from Hecate, past life healing. Now she is basically the goddess of the witches. do we have? Oh, we have all different. When I first did you last time, I feel like we had a lot of Greek influence here. She's kind of Romany, European influence. This is about communicating, and again what I just said over here about manifesting. Like, she is the goddess of manifesting, manifesting your truth and living your life path. Let's just think on like what a witch is. A witch is somebody who lives by truth. She protects the vulnerable. She kind of works with nature in order to kind of create a better world, right? And this is what I feel like is a drive for you. Now, this is past life healing and also ancestral. This is where I'm getting the ancestors through in all of these cards. The owl was the representation in the last card. And again, over here, we have a raven, which again is wisdom coming through from in the form of a guide. Oh, I'm so hot, guys. So I feel like you need to be aware of things that you are saying, things that you're acting on is what you're putting out into the world. So try and be living authentic to what you are and live by what you want to put out there. Again, you're manifesting the world that you're living in. So I feel like whatever you're putting out there, if you are feeling there's something off, there you go. So with this, I do feel like this card came up last time. I touched on past life healing, and I feel like for you there's something in your current life, like in the past, that is with you now and affecting the decisions you make right now. So we are in Scorpio season, which is shadow work season. This is the work that a lot of us don't want to do because it's vulnerability, and it means facing things that you went through as a child, and really seeing how that's still impacting you today. I feel like that's very beneficial for you. Now, I do feel like you are vulnerable in this. Your first card is shield yourself. I get this sense of you feeling very vulnerable, very kind of, I don't like fears, but it's not fears. It's like feeling as though you need to be wearing armor. And again, protecting your heart. It is heart central here for you. Interesting. And I feel like you are protecting, again, and throat chakra is major here. It's communicating. You're protecting some form of communication, as though you just are not communicating in the way that's authentic to you. You're communicating from a different space. Interesting. Okay, this leads on. In reverse, pay attention. God is in charge. You're supposed to be going through this. You're supposed to be feeling what you're feeling. And that sucks when we hear that, because nobody wants to hear like, oh, I'm struggling and I'm supposed to struggle. Yes, because you're supposed to see the things, like the wounds that are there with that struggle. I'll use myself as an example. So I struggle with trusting people, I guess, with my heart, because I feel like in my situations, like where I love wholeheartedly, and I feel like in return, I cannot feel that same back. I'm learning, like everybody has different ways of communicating that and expressing that, but the universe to me is constantly always showing me that I can't rely on anybody else and I just have to rely on myself. And I feel like this is a sense here of like there's something in there that you have to realize, like what is it that's your thing, and how you tick. And like, so with my example is that I need to learn to trust on people. I need to learn to live as a community, because my true core belief is that we all need each other to thrive and survive. So by me going by my natural instincts of just doing everything alone and being by myself, that's hindering that. It's not living authentically. It's not living the human experience, So food for thought. The next card is reverse pay attention. Rhiannon, inner strength. So when you had this card last time, and it's coming through the same way. I do feel like you have like a passed over ancestor with you. I do feel like it's like a mother, a grandmother, somebody feminine who's trying to support you through what you're going through right now. And this is your inner strength. I feel like this brings you sadness though, and I feel like, again, this sense of feeling alone, but they kind of want you to know, like, you're not, I'm here, come on, let's do this, we'll get through this together. It's kind of like that feeling. But I get this sense of you moving on. I definitely kind of had that over here about letting go of something, and I feel like it's you moving on and this being a choice. And again, a little bit of sadness or fears with that. But the first card you have is eternal love. I do get this goal for you being that you are seeking this eternal love, and by moving on and by kind of choosing to let go is going to lead you a step closer to this. This could be soulmate energy as well. They're exactly what we're looking for and what we're wanting. It is also a card that represents, again, ancestors with us, our loved ones that have passed on. It can indicate that, again, they're here with it, and you've had that throughout this reading. So definitely take that on board, that you have some loving support with you right now. And the way to achieve that eternal love is by this energy healing work. So you're being told to really do the work that's going to help you to feel better. So energy healing work literally is doing what helps heal your soul, doing things that brings you joy and happiness. I feel like, again, this pairs with getting out in nature and kind of getting yourself out of the mundane life of everyday things and kind of doing something that changes and shapes something up. I don't know why that's coming. I don't normally read this card that way. It just feels like that's what needs to be said to you. But this could be, again, meditation, massages, anything spiritual lined. But it can also mean just doing some things for you and helping making sure that your mental health is taken care of, as well as your spiritual energy. I feel like by healing your wounds, and again this goes with facing the things you don't want to face, and healing those. Letting go is really major here, but it's kind of coming to peace with something with that. If you look at the imagery on there, she's kind of holding that peace pose. I don't know the name of poses, but to me it gives me that sense of peace, like when you're like, namaste. That's the vibe that I get from that. And I feel like you coming to peace with something and kind of letting go of something is going to lead you to the eternal love that you are seeking. So thank you so much, Capricorn, for being here. Please subscribe to my channel and comment below if you have any questions. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next month.